Hey everybody, it's Luke over at Galaxy Tech Review, and today I've got a product from Carbinox. This is the Carbinox Vesta, and this comes in two different colors, either a yellow and black or an all black. And I have the yellow and black model here for review. And today we're going to do a durability test and overview of the Carbinox Vesta. Now these are rugged, durable smartwatches made by Carbinox, and we're going to put it through its paces, and I'll be right back. Okay, so this is everything that you get once you get it out of the box. You're going to get some documentation here. You're going to get a thank you card from Carbinox. You're also going to get the Vesta user manual. It's written in English. It's well laid out, and it's not microprint, so you're not going to need a magnifying glass to read it. It does show you all of the parts that you do get, including the magnetic charging base, the protector for the screen if you do choose to want to use that, and then how to download the app and get set up and going. We're going to be doing that ourselves here, and we're going to show you pretty much everything that you need to get set up and going with the Vesta. Hold on to this just in case you do need to reference it. Now they do give you a screen protector here for the Vesta if you do wish to add even more protection. We're going to do some durability tests a little bit later here without a screen protector, but they do give you one in the box as well. Now here we have our charger, and this is a charging puck that is nice. It's a charging base. It's got dual pogo pins for charging up the device. Now the watch itself can get up to 7 days of battery life per charge, and it has a USB Type A connection that you can plug into any laptop, PC, Macs, USB port, power bank, or you could probably just use an AC to USB adapter. You probably have one existing from a device you may already have. So that's how you'll charge things up here. Pretty simple and self-explanatory there. Now looking at the Vesta itself, I have the black and yellow version. There's also an all black version as well. Nice Carbinox branding here. You've got your power and your back buttons. There is a microphone in between those because this does support Bluetooth calling, so you'll be able to receive and make phone calls with this as well. You also have a sport button here that'll take you into over 70 different sport modes that you can do as well. Looking at the band, we've got a black and yellow band to match, and it's a nice soft silicone band that feels good to the touch, and I had no problems with the band. You can replace the band if you want with a band of your own if you so choose to. Now on the bottom here is going to be in the middle, of course, our sensors for blood pressure, heart rate, SpO2, and things like that. And then at the top, you're going to see the two pogo pins there, magnetic pogo pins, for setting it on the charging base and actually having this charge. Now it is magnetic, so when you do set it on here, it's going to attach with some pretty good strength to the charging base, which is really nice. So that's the unboxing of the Carbinox Vesta. Let's get into how to navigate through this smartwatch. Okay, so navigating through the smartwatch is pretty easy. Swiping down is going to bring you this quick menu here, and you can see at the upper left that is for Bluetooth calling, so if you want that enabled, make sure that's enabled. You can also set how you want your apps to look, either in a list view, kind of a circular view, and a few others. You also have Do Not Disturb here. So you can turn on Do Not Disturb, and you will get some options for that as well. You do have your brightness controls here and your raise to wake at the bottom, so brightness can be slid up and down to your liking. Obviously, more brightness is going to equal less battery life, so just adjust that accordingly. You do have a lock feature on this as well, so that when I lock it, if I touch the screen or try to do anything, I actually have to hold the power button down to unlock the watch. So this could be useful in a bunch of different situations. You do have a power saving mode here as well to help you save on battery if you do need to. And you have a settings button, and this is going to take you to all of your settings in the watch itself, like watch faces and themes, languages, date and time, sport recognition, brightness again, sound and vibration, raise to wake, do not disturb, downloading the app, going into system and having info. System will allow you to reboot, turn off the device, and of course a factory reset as well. You'll get your firmware version here that can be updated through the app, which I'll show you in just a moment, and all of your information. So that's swiping down. Now, if you swipe from the left, you can see everything that's installed on the watch itself. You're going to have calls and activities, heart rate, workouts, blood oxygen, blood pressure, weather, alarm clock, breathing exercise, messages, voice assistant, SOS, and a toolbox, and of course settings again. Now the toolbox has some useful things like stopwatch, timer, flashlight, finding your phone, using the device as a remote camera shutter, and a calculator as well. Now if we go back home here using the power or back button, and you can do that if you want to, or you can swipe to the left again. You're going to be able to see that if we hold the back button down, we can turn off the watch quickly. And if we press the power button, it turns the screen on or off. Swiping up will show you any messages that you have incoming, like SMS messages or application messages. And then swiping right is going to have all your tiles, your daily activity, your steps, and your distance, your sleep, your heart rate, your blood oxygen, blood pressure, your weather, and you can add some more that they have here as well. Down at the bottom, you'll see that we can add calls, music, and workouts to this as well. So getting around the watch is super easy. It's got a nice display on it. It's a 1.85 HD display here, and it looks just great. Now, the last thing I did want to mention, of course, is this does have a microphone and a speaker built in. So if you do want to make phone calls, you do have that ability to make phone calls and receive them right from the watch. As you can see here, your call history, your contact come up, and a dialer as well. So you'll just be able to manually dial a number if you need to. And of course, if phone calls come in through your phone, they will get routed right to the Vesta, so you can take phone calls directly on the watch. Now, pairing the watch to your phone or tablet, whatever you're going to be using the Carbinox app, and you can get it for iOS or for Android. I have it for Android here, and what we're going to do is launch the Carbinox app, and it is going to be very simple. Under the device tab at the bottom, you can see a big yellow button that says add device. So that's what we're going to do now just to get it paired, and you're going to be able to see that it will search for a watch, and it does see the Vesta here. We're just going to click on that. And once we click on that, it's going to ask us for a pairing request to the phone. And that is going to be pretty much all you're really going to need to do here. You will get a pop-up for the pairing request, and then you are good to go. So there's my pairing request. It is now paired for Bluetooth because I have Bluetooth calling enabled on the phone, and it'll ask you for access to your contacts as well. So now you can see under device, we've got a bunch of different things. Bluetooth call settings. This is where you'll be able to enable or disable Bluetooth call or sync your contacts. And then we have heart rate monitoring, and you can set a high or minimum heart rate here and have the watch alert you if it goes under or over those thresholds, which is really nice to have. And you do have the similar setup for SpO2 monitoring as well. For blood oxygen settings, you can have it set to always on, and then check depending on how often you would like, anywhere from 10 minutes to every 3 hours. So that's nice to have as well. Call reminders, SMS reminders. So of course you want call reminders on. This is going to alert the watch when your phone does get a call so that you can pick it up right on the watch. So it's going to ask you for the permissions, and you're going to select that and allow it to access your phone calls and logs. Same thing with SMS or text messages. When you do set that up, you're also going to be asked for the permissions, and you're good to go, and you'll get all your SMS reminders there as well. App reminders and sedentary reminders can also be enabled here, and you also have SOS calls, universal settings, and firmware updates here as well. Looking at universal settings, which is something that I just want to touch on real quickly, you can change your language, the units, you can do remote photo taking here, and we can do that, and now it becomes a remote shutter to be able to take pictures from your watch using it as a remote shutter, which works out really nicely. Okay, so if you want to change your watch faces, there are some that are built in, but we also have the dial market, which is up at the top of the device portion of the app, and we can go in and we can select a bunch of different dials here. So if you don't like the ones that are built in and you just kind of want to switch it up, you've got a ton of different options here, which is nice to have. If we go from device to home, this is where all of your information will be, your steps, your sleep, your heart rate, blood pressure, blood oxygen, and you can add other ones as well. So you have them all in a centralized area here. You also have your weather up at the top. And then if we go to sports, you can see we have outdoor running with a map. It does have GPS enabled there, so you'll be able to track your stuff. You can see we've got a ton of different things: jumping jacks, boating, free training, anything that you can think of here, and it'll measure your heart rate while you're doing it. So the home page and sports page will definitely keep everything together for you in the Carbinox app. Okay, so what I wanted to do for testing the sensors is I have a pulse oximeter here, and I also, of course, have the watch. So we're going to want to test some of the sensors like heart rate, blood pressure, and SpO2 against some of my things that I use at home here right now. So we're going to use this pulse oximeter here and see what it comes up with based on what the watch comes up with. Now you can see that my SpO2 is sitting at about 98, and it's now kind of leveled out at about 78 beats per minute. You can see on the left hand side I'm at 79 on the watch, 78, and then 79 on the right. So it's within 1 beat per minute for the heart rate. So it comes out very, very nicely to my SpO2 monitor. So I definitely could recommend taking your heart rate with this and not having any issues. Now, blood oxygen, we're going to check that out as well just to see how close it is. Right now I'm currently at 97% blood oxygen, and we'll see what the watch comes up with. It's saying 98, and I'm at 97 on this, 96, 97, and now it's at 97, 98. So again, within about 1 to 2% for your blood oxygen as well. So still not too bad. Now the last one that I wanted to check was blood pressure, and I know what my blood pressure normally is, and of course I'm doing a review, so it may be a little bit higher, but we'll see what the Vesta comes up with as far as my blood pressure goes. And usually I average anywhere from about right at that 120/80, so we'll see how close it gets to that when this does come up. Now, of course, blood pressure takes a little bit longer to register here, but we'll see what kind of number that we do get. And it came up with 125/80, so that's pretty close. It's good for spot checking. Obviously, if you have a really crazy number come up, then you would want to back that up with a full blood pressure monitor. But overall, that's pretty good. So all of the sensors on here are within 1 to 2 points. The blood pressure, again, something that is going to be close enough that I could at least spot check with it and have no problems. Okay, so now for the fun part, it is IP69K waterproof. So I want to sit this in water fully submerged for at least 5 minutes or so to see what kind of waterproofing we do get out of the Vesta. So let's put that in water and let it sit there for at least 5 minutes, and we'll see how the Vesta reacts to being submerged in water for at least 5 minutes. And I know that this isn't a true life test. You know, if you drop it in a pool or something like that, it may be in there for more than 5 minutes, but then of course my review would be insanely long. So we're going to do a test here for water resistance and waterproofing, and I'll be right back when it's finished. Okay, so you can see that now the Vesta has been in water for over 5 minutes. And again, this isn't a real world test, but it'll give you a good idea of how this watch will do if you accidentally, you know, drop it in something. You're not going to have to really worry about it. So you don't have to worry about, you know, maybe not taking it off when you take a shower, or not, you know, taking it off when you're washing your hands or wearing anything like that. So far, everything seems to be working. The screen is working. The buttons are all working on it. So it is no problems there with the buttons or anything like that. Let's see about the screen responsiveness. Seems to be working pretty well here as far as swiping back and forth, up and down. Everything seems to be in a total working order. So the Vesta has passed my water test. Now, another fun test I like to do with Carbinox watches is take a 10-pound weight and drop it directly on the screen with no screen protector to see how well it holds up. There we go. We got a nice little drop right on the face of the watch there with the 10-pound weight. And as you can see, all the buttons are working. There is no problem at all with the screen, no scratches or anything like that, and no markings really on the housing. I'm kind of trying to look hard enough to really find any defects at all. Looks like the Vesta held up to my weight dropping test as well. So there you go. That's my review of the Carbinox Vesta. This is a rugged type smartwatch, as you can see, that is going to resist a lot of things that you may put it through, especially if you work in specialized places like being a mechanic or an HVAC or some place that you're going to put a lot of beating onto this watch. This will last you a lot longer durability wise than your normal smartwatch would. By the way it's constructed, overall the Vesta is definitely a rugged smartwatch. I like the companion app that Carbinox has come out with as well, keeping all of your information, including your fitness metrics, all in one space. And I also like the fact that I can make and receive phone calls directly on the watch as well. Overall, if you're looking for a rugged smartwatch, you might want to check out the Vesta from Carbinox. This was Luke from Galaxy Tech Review. I hope you enjoyed my review, and I'll check you guys out on the next one.